Jake Sifontes coming to us from Brian Bury Jiu-Jitsu, local guy from Waterville Elite. They call him a sniper. I noticed one of his teammates noted that. So although he might not be a coach like Michael Serrano, if people are calling him the sniper on his team, he's also bringing a skill set.
Well, I would agree. And you think of a sniper who's somebody's kind of like laying in the weeds, sort of nondescript before they strike. So we'll see if he's got that ability tonight. But getting back to Serrano, the coach, is there extra pressure when you are a coach knowing that your students are here watching and perhaps, people are maybe judging you a little bit different?
I mean, everybody's going to react to it differently, but inherently, it's going to add some weight to the situation, being the fact that you are representative of that school and you coach some of these other fighters, and so they look up to you and they follow your lead.
Well, I'm excited to get this one underway and this night underway.
Mr. Ed Kinner, president of the USMTA here, overseeing the amateur fights. As Mr. I think you have that wrong.
So I think we did. We brought Sifontes out, and now Michael Serrano making his way to the cage.
What is it? I believe that was a misspoken announcement by Mike Falvo. I'm checking right now.
Okay. I'm sort of in a holding pattern here. I almost don't want to say anymore. I don't want to confuse anybody because I am confused right now. Will, you need to straighten this out for us. Okay.
This is Jake Sifontes from Brian Bury Jiu-Jitsu in the blue corner.
And gentlemen, and welcome to the Rivers Casino and Resort, New York's premier gaming destination, and welcome to Cage Wars 53. Cage Wars 53 is live from the Event Center at the Rivers Casino and Resort. Tonight's event is presented by Cage Wars MMA and Sticker Mule, and it is brought to you by Bricklayers Local Number 2, Allied Craft Workers, UA Local Number 7, Plumbers and Steam Fitters. We also want to welcome the newest members of the Cage Wars family, RDX Sports, and our good friend Edwin Rivera and the Aqua Training Bag. Winners tonight will not only come away with a hard-fought victory in the cage, but they will also take home an Aqua Training Bag. Tonight's event is sanctioned by the United States Muay Thai Association. Executive Director Ed Kinner is in attendance. The judges at cage side for your opening contest are Mr. Eric Komar, Chris Polinsky, and Rob Axisa. The fight doctor at cage side this evening, Dr. Michael Sheridan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's fight time! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in yesterday 154.5 pounds. Representing Team Legacy out of Windsor, Connecticut, Curly Michael Serrano. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in yesterday 155 pounds even. Representing Brian Bury, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu out of Waterfleet, New York, the marksman, Jake Sifontes.
All right, Will, here we go.
We do apologize for that miscommunication, folks, but as they say, shit happens.
Well, here's...
And the man in charge of the action when the door closes, Mr. Dave DeRossi.
In our blue corner, it is Mike Serrano. In the red corner is Jacob Sifontes. What's confused me were the color of the gloves. Can we match up the gloves with the corner? That would be the perfect storm. I don't think we're going to be that lucky here tonight.
Perfect storm.
What are we expecting here right now? Do you have you know anything about either one of their fighting styles coming into this one?
They're both coming out of jiu-jitsu schools, but that doesn't mean they're not training Muay Thai and mixed martial arts. But I expect their grappling and jiu-jitsu to be very proficient. And as I say that, they open up with leg kicks, mutual leg kicks.
I'll tell you, Sifontes he's much taller than his opponent. It's always interesting when you see a height discrepancy like that, and somehow the weight is somehow right on point. Now, he's got about 4 or 5 inches on his opponent.
Yeah, and he's got very long legs. You notice that long stance. He's going to try to utilize that for those kicks.
And both fighters look very comfortable and relaxed, considering that it is their first time.
No, I mean, if you're Serrano, you're trying to take advantage of that longer stance, trying to get to that front leg. As of right now, both standing and willing to engage.
And Serrano's doing a really nice job keeping his opponent at distance, understanding that reach is going to be an advantage for him.
Sifontes.
I'll get it right.
We're killing the folks at home. Sorry, everybody listening on Stimulus.com. We're just getting warmed up here.
Sifontes
using that jab very, very nicely, as well as those teeps, really maximizing that reach advantage we speak of.
Does look like Serrano is willing to stand in the pocket, though, willing to exchange.
The problem is he throws that roundhouse and then doesn't really follow it up. And if you're going to close that distance, you've got to use feints. You've got to use a couple of strikes because the length is just there for Sifontes.
Well, right now, I don't think either combatant. A couple of nice jabs.
Nice jabs to a body kick.
And a nice return there by Serrano, just to let him know that he's here. He's just not going to be pushed around.
Serrano's doing a great job staying in the center of the cage, using his footwork, and not giving up on anything at this point, trying to work everything, get inside, negate that reach, and inflict some damage.
It's been a mostly uneventful first round, and as we come to a close, slight advantage, I would say, to Sifontes.
But, oh, nice. Right hand is the time. Is their time?
And
he's saved by the
that
bell
should be the
zero.
time. That should be the time.
Should be the time.
That should be time.
Should be. I don't. Should be the. 3-minute rounds. 3-minute rounds. Okay, we got a minute left.
Okay, we apologize. We were watching our monitor, which showed it getting down. But let me tell you, Serrano has survived this, and Sifontes has an opportunity here.
But, with Sifontes being the long guy, that's where they have a lot of advantage in jiu-jitsu because they've got these longer levers, and that can be a disadvantage. But right now, being on top, that can be a big advantage.
And I think for the viewers watching this at home, there is no ground and pound at their level.
To the face.
To the face.
You can punch to the body, you can knee to the body, just nothing to the face.
And I think that obviously that may have saved Serrano in round one, but that was a very competitive round and a great job by Sifontes in the last minute to really take control and dominate round number one.
Your official for tonight's first fight is Big Dan Murgliata.
All right, we're back. And they speak of Big Dan. That's exciting. Being 0-0, whether you're a coach or a seasoned, athlete, being able to fight in front of Dan Murgliata for your first fight, you're safe and you're in front of one of the best.
Without a doubt.
That round, that's a tough round. I mean, Michael Serrano did a really nice job circling around, staying in the center of the cage. Sifontes had the edge on the volume and the number of significant strikes. You might be able to say Serrano might have taken the grappling edge of it. What do you do? What do you think about that round?
I think that to me that was a clear round for Sifontes in that he was able to land that clean strike with about a minute or so left to go, and he was able to score the knockdown, which I think is the most significant strike of our first round. So
Agreed.
Round one to Sifontes.
All right, we're getting ready for round two. Big Dan.
And if you're Serrano, you may want to see if you can take this down to the ground in the event that he feels like he could be the superior.
Jake doing a really nice job throwing those punches straight down the pike. That nice 1-2. He does a good job flowing between the punches and the kicks. He's definitely a fluent striker.
Well, he looks very smooth and relaxed, and he's hitting Serrano with some clean shots, and I don't know that Serrano has exactly exchanged fire. I don't think that he's made it so that Sifontes feels uncomfortable coming into his bread box, wanting to fight him at a close distance.
A lot of that, though, comes to that range, and Sifontes has been able to keep him on the end of those teeps, that front teep kick, that jab, that cross.
Sifontes is a good striker.
And I see why they give him the nickname the marksman. You know, he's not wasting a lot of energy. His accuracy is on point. He's not wasting energy to throw the strikes.
It does seem
Good
like
head movement, nice lead leg high kick.
a lot of times with nicknames, you don't know that come out of left field.
Oh, nice job by Serrano to catch that kick.
Terrific return fire here by Serrano.
Can
He's
he take
showing
him out?
a lot
Looking
of life.
for the neck, looking for the neck. Can he finish this guillotine choke? One arm in.
What a turn of events here with
trying to roll on top. Can Sifontes get that head out? Big Dan on top of the action. Oh, nice job by Jake Sifontes.
But a terrific job by Serrano. He has changed the dynamic of this fight.
He absolutely hasn't. He's making the judges think right now.
And again, it's important to know no ground and pound to the head. So if you see that opportunity and you're like, why isn't he taking the shot? That's the reason why.
You know, and that's why a lot of times in this novice rule set, some athletes will prefer to stay in half guard or stay in side mount so they can deliver some strikes to the body because mount is tougher.
I will say, and I will say that the best thing that Serrano did, he took the opportunity, he took the fight to the ground. If this fight had stayed up, he was headed for what looked like a possible TKO, and he has turned this whole fight around and perhaps evened it out.
Looked like you might have incidentally hit Jake, but you know, nothing major, nothing happened.
I think you would get the one warning.
Yeah.
The second time.
Jake trying to sweep.
Now, should he be positioning Sifontes right now so that he can attempt some sort of a chokehold? What would you do if you were in this situation? Because the ground and pound to the face is, in essence, taken out of play here.
It depends, you know, if you're a strong submission specialist, there are always submissions you can go for from that position. But if you're looking to deliver ground and pound, there are, you know, better options. I've worked with a lot of coaches in the past who always say they prefer to their guys to stay on top and stay in half guard and deliver punishment.
Well, with 15 seconds left to go in this round, I think it's safe to say that Serrano leveled the playing field, and I don't know that anybody saw that coming. That was surprising. He's dominant, and he's had, you know, cage control for the last 2.5 minutes.
And that shows his composure. You know, and as we spoke about, these are not 0-0 fighters. If you think of an 0-0 fighter, these are both skilled athletes.
Well, we're going to see if Sifontes, what he's got left in the tank. We know that Serrano in the blue corner has been given a heavy lift. That's got to be very encouraging for him and his cornermen right now that are giving him some coaching advice.
Well, but here's the beautiful part about this is every round is a new start. The previous round has already been scored. This is a new opportunity. You're 1-1 here. Who wants it more?
My thinking is that Sifontes is going to want to come out and he's going to want to do his damage early in the round via strike.
I would agree. I think he's going to try to keep him at range, hit him with a lot of strikes, and use his footwork.
And if I'm Serrano right now, I'm preparing for the onslaught, which now I'm not saying it will be onslaught. I'm preparing for, I think that Sifontes is going to come out and try to land some heavy artillery early here. If he could survive that, we know what he's capable of.
Yep, and you know, I would look to do the same thing, close that distance, catch a kick, and take it to the ground.
It's a good one.
Amazing first fight.
Great fight.
Here.
Dead even, I would say, too, after 2 rounds. So here we go, round 3, first fight of the night.
Both men willing to engage, want to establish the center of the octagon. Neither of them look tired. They look like they could go another 3 rounds.
Very well conditioned, taking the event and taking the work seriously, which is something that you love to see. Now, Serrano's got to be careful. He can't come in with his head down.
Now, well, you know, he's throwing that right hand to kind of close the distance, make Sifontes think, and then look for a takedown. So he's not really committing to the strike. It's part of an attempt to take down to close that and use that entry.
And I will say this about Serrano, too, is that he's throwing just enough strikes to keep his opponent at bay. He's going to attempt that. He's going to more than likely go for a level change. I think he's probably going to want to get this fight back down on the ground.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the path to victory is obvious at this point for both these young men. You know, for Sifontes is to keep it at range, use his striking, use some clinch work, and for Serrano is to get it to the ground and use that control. You know, there's a lot of control time in that last round for Serrano that has to give you, you know, a confidence boost. Sifontes doing a good job using the range. Not necessarily concerned about Serrano's kick, so he's not checking.
That was a decent combination by Sifontes and a terrific job by Serrano to close the distance.
Trying to lock the body up, turn, try to get a takedown.
Serrano is sneaky strong.
Sifontes doing a good job, though, keeping pressure against the cage, using those knees to the thighs. That's, again, something you don't often see an 0-0 fighter do.
And all of this matters, and all of this counts. You're trying to impress the judges and score however many points as you can. We're less than halfway to go, round number 3.
Nice knee to the body by Jake Sifontes. Again.
It was a dead even fight.
Oh, that could be. He's got to be careful with those. Can't go up the middle. Looking for that body lock, hip toss. Oh, nice use of the knees to the body against the cage. Jake Sifontes, the marksman.
And a really
1 minute left.
Great third round by Sifontes so far.
Serrano doing his best to keep it tight, find his way to the ground, looking for that trip. That right leg. Sifontes reacting well, putting pressure against the cage. Nice shot by both these young men. Right now, Sifontes has the edge. Serrano's got to make something happen with this final 30 seconds.
And Serrano knows this. And his path to victory is to get it down to the ground. But with 25 seconds left to go, I'm not sure it would be enough to win over the judges at this point. But he's going for it.
He's going for it. He's still trying to turn. He's trying to get his back off the cage. He's not giving up at any stretch of this fight. You know, Sifontes still dominant, but again, you see Serrano turning him into the cage. He wants to win this fight.
I would love to see this end up in the center of the cage for the last 10 seconds. I don't think we're going to have that, but a really great way to start our night here. Cage Wars 53.
This is a hell of a first fight. Great job by both these young men. You know, either way this goes, neither one of these guys have anything to be upset about.
And I would second that. You know what it takes just to get in there. The determination and the heart and the work that it takes just to get in there.
The volume of training. I mean, mixed martial arts is just that. There's how many foundation of martial arts. You have to train everything.
Yeah.
Beyond just general strength and conditioning, aerobic conditioning. You've got all those specialties you're training in the week to prepare yourself for another well-rounded opponent.
And I think both men are very proud and should be proud. Do you think Sifontes did enough in the third round to convince the judges that he should be getting the decision here?
I would really give that third round to Sifontes. He did a really nice job controlling that clinch, delivering those knees to the body, knees to the thigh. You know, a lot of control time in general in that third round. And, you know, even though Serrano wanted to bring that fight close, he wasn't able to execute when it was close. So, you know, kudos to Jake Sifontes. Again, both these guys did a great job. It's going to be interesting.
And we'll have the decision shortly.
Jake Sifontes feeling good, winking at the cameraman. It's a confident young man, the marksman. Michael Serrano over in his corner. Again, you know, both these guys are in great shape.
Sifontes does. He's got the build and the physique of a high-level MMA competitor.
He just gave us the Bruce Leroy pose. I love it. James Carroll in the corner, another Cage Wars veteran. You know, that's the thing about Brian Bury Jiu-Jitsu. There's just so many athletes there that are competing, have competed, are great leaders, great teammates, great role models. It's a great place to be in the Capital Region for mixed martial arts and Jiu-Jitsu.
And, now we'll go up to Mike Falvo.
Let's give a huge round of applause for these two great fighters, ladies and gentlemen. And after 3 hard-fought rounds of mixed martial arts action, we go to the judges' scorecard. All 3 judges have scored the fight 29-28 for your winner by way of unanimous decision. Out of the red corner, Jake Sifontes.
You know, the judges saw it as we kind of call the cage side, and it makes sense.